So this is going to be an interesting topic to discuss because there's been allegations made against Dan Avidan from the game Grumps, and there's a lot of layers here, a lot of layers to this accusation onion, and I'm going to talk about some of the instances here, and then we'll discuss. Let's get into it.
Skip it up and that up.
So the game Grumps have been a thing since I even started doing YouTube full time, which now has been a very long time. It's kind of depressing to think about. They started in 2012. I remember it used to be Ego Raptor and JonTron, and then there was that falling out. And now you have Dan Avidan, who works with Ego Raptor on Game Grumps. And there's been allegations made against him. Now, these aren't just black and white where it's a person who's is not of a legal age, who they cannot consent, and he's just straight up a disgusting sexual deviant. But it also, I'm not saying he should be exonerated either, because there is some sketchy things that go on here where he befriends women or girls before they're of legal age. As soon as they're legal age, he'll start getting risque with them and sexting. And then the other thing is too is that he'll meet up with them, have a rendezvous, and then never speak to them again. Which it's really this is a complex one because I have numerous takes on this. Probably none of them are going to be popular. But anyway, so let's get into it. We'll start off with this. This comes from Newsweek.com. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. An anonymous woman posted a thread on Reddit on March 21st, which has gone viral, that allegedly contains screenshots of text between Avidan and the woman who was underage at the time of the exchanges. The post on the subreddit Rant Grumps also features a video allegedly of Avidan in a hotel room in a hot tub back in 2017, as well as screenshots of alleged text conversations between the gamer and the victim that seem to be in nature, and also shows the accused trying to elicit explicit videos. The woman alleges that she was 17 at the time, while Avidan was 34 when she first reached out to him in 2013. Now, this is where things get really interesting. She claims that the text conversations with Avidan turned into sex once she turned 18. So he waited till, he couldn't be locked in the slammer, and eventually led to her meeting him backstage at a Game Grumps live show where blank activity occurred. After this encounter, the woman says Avidan stopped all communication with her. Okay. The sketchy part is, here is the thing. I won't have a conversation with anybody under the age of 18. Okay. If I have any doubts about someone's age, I won't talk to them. Unless they could guarantee they're of a legal age, I won't converse with them, period. And my thing, like I've said in my live streams, which you should first off sub to this channel, make sure you hit the bell to get all notifications. And pretty much every night between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do a live stream. And I live stream anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. It's a lot of fun. I end up getting shirtless and talking about insane stuff. So make sure to sub to the channel and check out my live streams, which I do almost nightly. Well, anyway, shameless plug aside, even just having a normal conversation with somebody doesn't matter. If I think that if I second guess their age at all, I'll be like, look, you got to show me some kind of identification. And yeah, someone I was talking to recently, again, all G-rated stuff, they laughed. I'm like, all right. They're like, yeah, sure, I'll show you my license. I'm like, look, I just got to make sure, because in 2021, you never know. And that's a red flag with Dan, is why would you, even if you kept it G-rated and didn't do any sexting until they were 18, obviously, if you start sexting when they were 18 and you were talking to them before, we know what your intention was, dude. So it's just, I guess technically not illegal, but it's a little weird. But there's other things here. That's the one red flag to me. And I'm not saying there shouldn't be, research done into these allegations. All allegations against someone should be taken seriously, and the person saying the allegations should not be disavowed for saying them, because that's why a lot of people are afraid to come forward, because especially if someone has a fan base, their fan base gets very defensive, and it's hell for them to come forward. But does it also mean that as soon as someone makes an allegation against somebody that they should be canceled? Hell no, and I can't stand that. I don't want to see someone's livelihood get destroyed, all of their sponsors drop them just because someone said something. If there isn't evidence and they just said it, or there isn't evidence put forward yet and they just said it, not that the person shouldn't be taken seriously, but the other person's life who is being accused shouldn't be destroyed instantly without there being evidence being brought forward first. Okay, it shouldn't be guilty until proven innocent. It should be innocent until proven guilty. That's how it works. But in 2021, it's not how it works. Continuing on from Newsweek here, Avidan was previously embroiled in a sexual misconduct controversy in 2019 when multiple threads documenting accusations emerged online, stemming from his ex-assistant Katie Schwartz performing a play called Bad People that recontextualized her experience with the gamer in the light of the Me Too movement. Schwartz posted to Instagram in October 2020 discussing the HBO documentary The Vow about the cult Nixivium, I've heard of that before, and its lead, Keith Raniere, and compared it to her own experience. I was the victim of a charismatic, rich, and famous man, a man not altogether unlike Keith Raniere, she wrote. I was led to believe I was special, seen, loved, and chosen. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. Falling under his spell led me to abandoning my values and doing anything for this person. I was manipulated, abused, and ultimately had my entire sense of self taken from me. 5 years later, I'm still recovering every day. So with Katie, even if this happened a few years ago, again, context is key. We would have to find out what went on behind the scenes. I'm very conservative with giving my take on this, because if she's just an angry woman scorned because Dan Avidan dumped her, and whatever they did physically was consensual, then it kind of just sucks. I mean, again, look, if he forced her, God forbid, to do anything, if he made her under the influence of anything, if she was underage, which if you look at her age now, obviously she was not of any illegal age or underage. If anything happened where it was forced, that's different. But if you feel that you were duped and you still were a willing participant, you being angry because you don't like how you were treated, or Dan just dumped you, that's not sexual misconduct. Yeah, I don't know what else. Then there's women that have performed sexual misconduct against me then because they just thought I was boring, or maybe thought my junk was too small, and I never heard from them again. I'm not writing vlogs about it saying that, how terrible they were. Life happens. Again, if he forced her into something, if she was under the influence of something, or if someone was underage, that is totally different. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. But if a guy dumps you or leads you on and leads you to believe that he's into you, and then he changes his mind, file that under happens on a daily basis. You want to know how many rapping rock stars date women and then dump them because they move on to somebody else? Is what it is. Welcome to life. Well, also now here is a video of Dan. He was at a resort in Mexico, and he was showing off the hot tub to one of the women he was speaking to. Keep in mind, again, this is another woman who he spoke to and kept it G-rated until she was 18, and then he started saying sexual things. He sent her this video of the hot tub he was at a resort in Mexico, and you could see what he has to say here.
So I just got to my room at the resort in Mexico. Girl, look at this jacuzzi tub. Oh, it's got water jets that shoot out of the seats. They got fucking seats. Oh man, 2 seats in fact. Wish you were here to take up that other one and then crawl onto the first one so we could this. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. The only huge red flag to me here is talking to these girls before they were of age. even G-rated. Like I said, I won't even talk to someone about the weather if I think even question or doubt their age at all. Like I just said, there was one person, like, G-rated conversation, but I was talking like, you know what, just for the hell of it, if you can't show it, I'm going to have to end this conversation. I need to see ID. I felt like I was a police officer, but that's just how you have to roll in 2021. But yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like he had a fetish thing. If the accusations are true, again, they're still just accusations, where it's like, yeah, she's underage now, and when she's of legal age, I'll have her ready to go for me. That is kind of strange. But here, if it ends up being that everything he did was legal, and the physical acts were consensual, and he just ghosted them because, like, yeah, I got laid, you wanted to get laid, I'm moving on. I don't really think it's a let's all set our hair on fire, if I had hair, and freak out. We'll have to see how this plays out, though. Maybe there'll be something damning that comes forward with evidence that makes me change my opinion. But right now, I'm not saying what this guy did was right. I'm not condoning what he did. But from a legal standpoint, what I'm seeing here, there's nothing that is extremely damning, minus the fact that he was friendly with girls that were underage. But again, they all say, and I give them credit, so they don't, they didn't just put misinformation out there. He didn't get sexual until they were legal. So I don't know, man. This is a tough one. And from what I have here right now, yeah, talking to girls underage and even being friendly, like what kind of conversation can a grown man in his 30s or 40s have with a 17-year-old? Like, what kind of conversation can you have? I could see having maybe a passing conversation, but what kind of deep friendship can you have? Obviously, he was looking for something else. But again, if he kept it legal, there's nothing there that he did that was illegal. But if it's just women that, are jaded because of the fact that he got his rocks off and ran because he was just, I got what I wanted, I'm done. I don't know. I don't think that's a cancelable offense. Not saying it's right, but if they're of legal age and it was consensual and no one was under the influence of anything, if that ends up being the case and there's no other evidence brought against him, then it's just a witch hunt because they don't like him and they want to cancel him. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Again, these are all allegations. It doesn't mean that the people accusing Dan are being malicious, and it doesn't mean that Dan is innocent. But the evidence I have here right now, not saying it makes him sound like a great guy, but it also, he doesn't mean he should be locked up and the key should be thrown away. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one. This one's interesting, man, and it's very complex. We'll see what happens.
Hey, if you enjoy my content, consider becoming a Review Tech USA member. I'll have a link below in the description. I live stream now on this channel all the time, and it gives you access to cool emoticons to use as well while I live stream. Again, link below in the description. Thank you for your continued support.